because they want certain number of likes or followers, and you have to. But how will you measure the impact? So, for example, there is a campaign that is created.
Right.
Richa, my next question is to you. You've seen so much. You have experienced so much of sea change in blogging. You've been blogging for 10 years. Now, so what is the kind of change mostly that you are seeing now? And as a blogger, I know that there is a lot of focus on page content. Creating only page content, right?
Yeah.
And both of us have come through the phase where we just started blogging without even thinking about money, right?
I had no clue I would be sitting 10 years down the line still blogging. I had no clue it would be a business for me where I would leave like a global position and sit home and start, only consulting.
So do you feel that the content quality has suffered because of this thought process?
I don't think so. I think content has only gotten better. It's only evolved.
No,
like
I mean authentic content. Like, see, if I'm a blogger and I know that I only want to work with brands, then every second, third post of mine is only talking, selling something.
No,
right?
then there has to be a balance. See, it's about the personal values of a person. I feel as a blogger, when I started blogging, it was my passion that drove me.
Right.
Even when I jumped 100% into blogging 5-6 years ago, it was about, making it a business but not losing my personal touch, which meant that I would be authentic.
Right.
So it's about me and my personal values, which play a huge role. And since it was my passion, that always comes first. Then the business part comes later. A lot of bloggers who started much later sadly have started only for the money, where they feel that, if I have the numbers, the brand will come to me. They don't focus on content, they only focus on growing their numbers through whatever means it takes. So I think that a person who has his values or her values in place knows what is to be done in the field of blogging also, because, you're not going to be able to fool your consumer, like she said.
Absolutely.
So, they will see through it. Like if 10 years of blogging people saw me, then people still see me. They know there's a reason why she's still there.
Right.
That one of it has been being as true to the work that I'm doing, which is authenticity, as well as brands have been happy because they see their messaging going across the right way.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And thirdly, I'm always there for my followers in the right way, whether questions to be answered, whether queries to be done. That also, it's not just about creating content, right? If tomorrow, say, I put out something on Mastercard and a follower needs a question to be answered, it's not going to be just randomly left in my comments, right? I will make that effort to get an answer from my brand. So even we are the bridge between the followers and the brand. So it's a 360 approach. It's not about just creating content, So we are communicators, but at the same time there has to be reverse communication as well. So I feel putting everything in place, which is not everybody's cup of tea. People cannot balance everything. They really don't know how to play in the game. Just think it's the numbers and the money. I think they also get filtered out in the long run.
That's exactly what I was going to, in fact, add to that, like in any other industry, there is the quality players and then there are the quantity players.
Right.
The quantity players easily get left behind, and the quality players are the ones who are front runners and manage to sustain their quality work because they are doing it for the right intent or purpose.
Right.
The quantity players can't sustain themselves. It's lack of oxygen, because you run out of ideas and the ideas that you can copy are limited. At some point you have to, start.
Also, you'll also see that they don't know how to say no.
Yeah.
So like when a brand comes to me, if I don't see a fit, I say no.
Right.
Yeah.
These will take up every and any kind of work that comes their way.
They're almost traveling salespeople.
And they just feel that, अरे मेरे को तो एक photo खींचनी है, अरे मेरे को तो एक video बनाना है, big deal. वो तो I can.
Yeah.
But they don't really, in the long run, they're not authentic because they're working for millions of brands and they don't have their own voice.
Expertise.
And
that's exactly what I was talking about. That building that expertise takes a certain amount of passion, a certain amount of commitment, certain amount of authenticity that has to filter. Yeah.
No, and so another question to this is that, so there are people who are authentic, they're working hard, they're also creating content. They probably have not been in the race for so long or have been in the race for so long, but there are others who've crossed them with their numbers. Now, what happens to these people because they don't get the brand partnerships and all? They get demotivated. So there is a lot of those people also who get left behind in the race. So what is the advice I would say ask you guys to give to them?
So I think there are a couple of things that I'd say from a brand and a marketing perspective. I think the point that Ritcha made is very valid, that one, the content creators can and should have a filter, but equally the brand should have a filter, which is that it's not about creating an advertisement for my brand, because if you want to create an ad, go out and create an ad.
Absolutely.
And there is absolutely a role for advertising in the marketing mix, and there is a role for content in the marketing mix.
Yeah.
The whole idea of content, and if you take travel as an example, at Mastercard we engage with travel bloggers who go abroad, who write about the great experiences they have, and then say, oh, by the way, I use Mastercard because it's safe.
Yeah.
It's not about holding a Mastercard to the camera and saying, see, please use Mastercard. That would just be ridiculous, and it's a waste of everybody's time and effort. So I also think it's a duty of the marketing industry to understand truly what content creators bring to the table, which is, I think, as Ritcha put it very well, it's a relationship with their followers,
Absolutely.
which is very different from paid media. I mean, yes, obviously you pay a content creator, but it's very different from advertising. And that is a learning that I try and impart to my team and to the agencies we work with, to say, understand the role of content creation in the marketing mix.
So create a story and then subtly put the thing, because
So
you are
also I have a point to add to what you said. What about the guys who get left behind? देखो हर कोई शाहरुख खान नहीं बनता, लेकिन शाहरुख खान has inspired millions of other people to raise the bar, and that's the whole point, right? Not everybody is going to be a superstar, but that's all right.
No, but
we have enough space.
Yeah. No, also I think in any kind of business, you have to have a positive mindset. If you know you're going the right way, I don't think anything will really demotivate you, especially somebody else's success. You know where you're going. So you know what you've got to achieve, and you're your own competition is what I believe. So you have to only look at bettering yourself in this business, because there's so much scope to better yourself. But I don't think I have the time to look at somebody else's work or numbers or whatever really and see whether I am in line with them or not. It's more about the feedback that brands are giving me and how I'm going along with it. So I think that's more important. So positivity in blogging is a huge thing. You need to keep that with you, and I think then you're quite sorted.
Okay, there's a question by Vibhu Agarwal. What type of blogger does brand want to have a paid partnership with? I think it's kind of repetitive, but you could just answer it.
Yeah, so I think a brand first needs to understand who its target audience is, who are the people it wants to talk to and influence. And I think the choice of the content creator very much rests on that, right? You need someone who's authentic, who has some sort of a track record in that field, who creates content that also resonates with your brand. Yeah. As I said, if you are a brand which is serious, you want a content creator who's kind of somewhat serious and so on. Finally, you're looking at the content creator to tell a story on behalf of your brand. So that fit has to work perfectly.